Good evening, everybody. No, this is not sponsored by MGM. I wish. Uh, Morning. I don't even know. Yeah, it is nighttime here, so yeah, I'm late. Uh, In time ran a little long. I wanted to check out some of it. Um, yeah, I wonder why you say that, Goldie. uh, yeah, I'm not even prepped for this. I'm still maybe 60%, so bear with me. I yesterday, I don't know, maybe it was from speech, actually listening to it. Maybe I ate something bad, or I'm just getting the end of season cold because it was 90 degrees one day and barely above freezing the next. I don't know. Um, it is what it is. So, because I don't want to hurl on live TV or YouTube, I am skipping the horseradish for now. If I feel better yesterday, I'll go to it tomorrow. I apologize for that. In the meantime, let's try to get through as much as I can today. I I don't know how long I'll be able to go, but I'll do what I can. Uh, Quick update on yesterday's stream or yesterday's information that I was sick for. 176 combat clashes reported yesterday morning. 101 airstrikes, dropping 171 bombs. 5,000 over 5,500 artillery strikes, 120 from MLRSs, 1,844 kamikaze drones. Go quick rundown of the directions. Looks like there was no attacks. Oh wait, 7 clash. Okay, I am getting rid of that. And if you're intentionally doing that, I'm going to leave that group. So 7 clashes in Kharkiv, 11 attacks in Kupiansk, 17 in Liman, 15 clashes in Servisk, 3 attacks in Kramatorsk, 14 attacks in Toretsk, 64 attacks in Pokrovsk, 8 assaults in Novopavlivska, 5 assaults near Huliopol, 5 attacks in Horhi, 4 attacks in Dnipro, in the Dnipro direction, 18 clashes in Kursk. That was yesterday's information. So here we are with today's report from this morning. Operational information as of 8 a.m. the 4th of March or the 3rd of April, depending on how you want to read that. The 1,135th day of the Russian Federation's large-scale armed aggression against Ukraine has begun. In total, 200... Oh. Excuse me a second. Oh, yeah. Still not feeling 100%. Where was I? In total, 216 combat clashes were recorded over the past day. Yesterday, the enemy launched 2 missile strikes using 2 missiles, as well as 85 airstrikes using 123 guided aerial bombs. Russia also carried out 6,400 artillery attacks. 107 were from MLRSs. They also used 2,377 kamikaze drones to strike. Airstrikes were carried out near the settlements of Tura, Ugorody, Mikhailivska, Petruzhivka, Miropilska, in Sumy, Kozachi Lupan in Kharkiv, Prokrovsk, Yablunivka, Oleksandropol-Kotelny, Malanivka, Novopoltavka, Gordivka, Udashny, Koltenyarka, Petropavlivka, Krasnopolana, Iskra, Odradny, Novopil in Donetsk, and Zalichny, Huliopol, Novodenrivka in Zaporizhia. Yesterday, Defense Forces, aviation, and missile troops. Ukraine's Defense Forces, aviation. That reads so wrong in my head sometimes. Aviation, missile forces, and artillery of the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck 8 areas of concentration of enemy personnel, weapons, and military equipment, a UAV control point, and an enemy artillery system. Going into the individual directions, over the past day, 2 clashes occurred in the Kharkiv direction near the settlements of Voschansk and Kamianka. Going to the deep state map, and yes, I'm going the old style here. Kharkiv, Voschansk. Okay, I know it's over here somewhere. Kamianka. So up closer to the border of Russian Federation. Heading down to Kupiansk, where 4 attacks by the invaders were recorded during the last day. Defense forces repelled enemy assault actions in the settlements of Zarazova and Novokurglivka. Zarazova, Novokurglivka. Going further to the south, to Liman direction, where the enemy attacked 21 times. They tried to advance near Nadia, Torsky, Novoyehorovka, Kolodazny, Yampolivka, Novolubivka, and Dubrova. Zooming in, Dubrova, Torsky, Yampolivka, Kolodazny, Novolubivka, Makivka. No, wait, it was the other one. Shoot. And Novo Ihorivka. Nadia is this one here that 3rd Assault Brigade recently liberated. And that's all I can remember off the top of my head. So let's go back, see which ones I missed. Nadivka, Torsk, Koldazny, and Polivka. Nope, that was all of them. So moving over to Stravisk. The Defense Forces repelled 5 assault actions by the Russians in the areas of Bilogorivka and Verkno-Kamyansky. Heading over to Stravisk, Verkno-Kamyansky, Bilogorivka. Going over from Stravisk to Kramatorsk, Slovansk is here, Konstantinivka there, and Chasiv Yar is here. Over the past day, 6 enemy assault actions took place in Kramatorsk direction in the areas of Chasiv Yar, Novomarkovo, Stupochki, and Pretechny. Novomarkovo, Chasiv Yar, Stupochki, Pretechny. Going directly to the south from Chasiv Yar to Toretsk, where the enemy carried out 28 attacks near the settlements of Toretsk, Ozaryanivka, Divlivka, Krymsky, and Leondivka. Divlivka, Krymsky, Toretsk, Leondivka, and Ozaryanivka is here. Moving over from Toretsk to the hottest part of the front for a long time now, the Pokrovsk direction, where our defenders stopped 80 attacks by the aggressor. Oh, I want to do this the new way, because the new way looks so much better and it's easier. Let's do it this way, though. Get back to there. And so we just covered Toretsk. So 80 attacks near the settlements of Pentela Monivka, Suka Balka. Is there another Suchenko in this over here? I don't see it offhand, so I'm assuming they're talking about this Surchenko. But then they come all the way back over here for Vodani Druj, Elizavetivka. Let me do a quick look around to see if there's another Surchenko up in this area. It just seems weird that they're going to Surchenko and then popping back over here. And it's Surchenko Pershi. So the fact that there's a Surchenko Pershi here tells me in my mind there's another Surchenko. And I'm not sure where it is because it's not showing up on here. But I would assume this Surchenko that they're talking about is in this area. Possibly one of these settlements here. Anyways, moving on. Vodany Druj, Elizabethivka, Kromin, Zeleny, Novi Trud, Gotiny, Udachny, Goltanyarka, which is here. Udachny, oh no, wait, Goltanyarka, Upensivka, and Andrivka down here by Constantinople. I don't know if you've noticed, but more and more blue is showing up slowly. But there's still some that I've heard about that are not marked in blue yet. Coming back up here to Kupiansk, you see this area has gotten a little bigger over by Sirnivka. Zapidny has gotten a little bit bigger. Of course, third assault's recapturing of Nadia. But there's other ones that I've heard about that are not listed here, and I can only assume that they're not being listed for OPSEC reasons. You're seeing that blue little bit right there by Elizabethivka and Novopoltavka. Again, here by Lasivka, Pishkiani, Koltini, Upensivka, and like I said, there's more listed. There's more that I've heard about that is not shown on here. But I just wanted to, say that there's probably more going on than we're hearing about, and hopefully we will hear about that soon. In Novopavlivsky direction, the defense forces repelled 13 enemy assaults in the areas of Constantinople, Rozlive, Dniproenergia, Vasile, and Berlatsky. Moving over to Guliopol direction. Near Previlne and Novosilka, the defense forces successfully repelled 5 enemy assaults. Coming over to Orhiv, in the direction of the settlements of Stepove, Maloserbachku, Kamyansky, and Novodenlivka, the invaders carried out 12 assaults on the positions of our defenders. In the Pridniprovsky direction, the invaders tried to advance on the positions of our defenders 5 times. It does not show where in name, but if we go to the map, we see all of them in one spot just below Kherson, which would be in this area right here. So near Kardashinivka. I wonder if that town was named after the Kardashians. Sorry, bad joke. In the Kursk direction, over the past day, our soldiers repelled 28 assaults. You get up there with the map. You still see we hold part of Russia there, part of Russia here, and part of Russia here. The enemy launched 343 artillery strikes, with only 5 of those being from MLRS systems. Russia carried out 20 airstrikes, dropping 31 bombs. In the Volyn and Polizia directions, no signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups have been detected. And our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses in manpower and equipment on the occupation forces. I don't get to say the other part. Goes into the Russian losses for yesterday. I'm sad now. And of course, we end with join the defense forces. Razom переможемо. Slava Ukraina. See you, lead, Petrie. Let me grab the reports for the last 2 days from Discord. Oh, yesterday, the losses from yesterday. Let's see if I can do something a little different here. I want that map on here. I want both of those together, and I want it there. There. Okay. So, air raid alert map. Air raids clearing out of Sumy and Kharkiv, just Donetsk left. But the Russian losses for yesterday's 1,410 personnel, 10 tanks, 24 armored personnel vehicles, 24 artillery systems, 43 UAVs, and 41 vehicles. You notice how these numbers are going down, but those numbers are going higher, it seems. That was the losses for yesterday. Here is today's report. And I want you over here. Come on. There we go. Today's report shows Russian losses of 1,390 personnel, bringing the total just shy of 920,000, being 919,570. 6 more tanks, 22 more APVs, 49 artillery systems, 1 MLRS, 96 UAVs, and 88 vehicles. That is the Russian losses for the last 2 days. And thankfully, I get to take a little bit of a break. I don't know how this man does all the speech and meetings and everything he does and keeps his voice. There's some days where he doesn't. But here is yesterday's speech from Zelensky from Dnipro.
Бажаю здоров'я сьогодні.
Oh, it helps if you go on the right screen.
Дніпро.
Oh, come on, stupid thing. Sometimes technology just does not want to work for me.
Бажаю здоров'я сьогодні. Дніпро. Робоча поїздка, багато різних важливих зустрічей, дуже змістовно. Відвідав наших воїнів, які відновлюються після поранень. Я хочу подякувати нашим лікарям, всім медичним працівникам, всім медичним працівницям, які рятують наших хлопців, наших дівчат, наших військових і всіх, хто постраждав від цих російських ударів. Один з найбільших результатів в порятунку життів наших людей саме тут, у Дніпрі, більш ніж 40 тисяч поранених, 96% врятували. Я хочу за це подякувати вам. Просто молодці. Всі лікарі, хірурги, всім, хто підтримує. Дякую. Мав можливість поспілкуватись з воїнами, відзначити державними нагородами. Багато багато таких героїчних хлопців. Я бажаю всім якнайшвидшого одужання. Говорив з ветеранами. Крута ініціатива є. Титани ЮА. Справді, титани важливо, що хлопці дуже енергійні, знають, як вирішувати проблеми, не забувають про побратимів. І сьогодні були конкретні питання. Все має бути вирішено. Можливості реабілітації і розвитку ветеранів в малих громадах обов'язково мають бути створені. І на базі шкіл створювати такі можливості. Хороша ідея від хлопців ветеранів сьогодні звучала. Дійсно важливо робити все, щоб зберігали зв'язки ветеранів з їхніми підрозділами, з побратимами, загалом із силами оборони. Якщо через військову бюрократію якісь можливості для наших ветеранів допомагати армії не працюють, це точно потрібно змінити. І цим вже буде займатися і Міністерство оборони, і Офіс допоможе. І це важливо, щоб і міністр у справах ветеранів, я з усіма переговорю. Багато речей прозвучало, все ми зафіксували. Також особисті питання, зокрема, щодо доступу до медицини і питання більш стратегічного характеру. Нам в Україні треба свої виробництва обладнання, всіх інструментів, які потрібні нашій ветеранській спільноті для швидкої адаптації, для того, щоб відчувати себе корисними. Ми говорили сьогодні про реабілітацію через ветеранський спорт. Ми будемо це підтримувати надалі. Була також сьогодні важлива зустріч з представниками бізнесу Дніпровщини. І зараз це регіон номер 1 по внеску у ВВП України і по багатьом іншим саме економічним напрямкам. Я хотів би подякувати за це всім, хто зберігає та створює робочі місця в області, всім, хто працює на Україну, для України. Урядові програми будемо всі продовжувати, які показали свою ефективність. Є речі, які можна ще зробити для підтримки нашої промисловості. Я доручив урядовцям виконати те, про що просили сьогодні підприємці. Українські результати – це спільні результати. Це результати всіх, хто обрав для себе Україну. Всі, хто активний заради України. Всі, хто готовий реалізувати все необхідне, щоб Україна вистояла. Україна. І досягла своїх цілей. Я хочу подякувати вам. Подякувати всім. Дякую, Дніпро. Дякую, Україна. Слава Україні.
Героям слава. Thank you, Zelensky. Yeah, I saw. No need to talk about it. It's somebody being either hopefully a typo or being interesting. I'm not going to show the large format of some of these pictures because, well, I think you can tell why. A targeted Russian missile strike on Kivri. All services are on the site, eliminating the consequences of the shelling and helping people. All the people killed in this strike were civilians. That was yesterday. Unfortunately, I missed seeing the news myself when it was happening. In Chernihiv today, I came to support the people of Yagodny and preserve the memory of what happened here during the Russian occupation. I visited the school where the Russians kept all the villagers for almost a month. This was one of the most cynical Russian crimes of this war, a crime against people and everything human and humane. Now in Yagodny, a lot has already been rebuilt and restored. They are also working on the memorialization of what, unfortunately, people had to go through. None of us will ever forget or forgive Russia for what they did.
Зараз вже відбулися певні роботи для того, щоб зберегти всі ті речі, які там відбувалися.
Висять стікери, тобто ми кожен буквально експонат, ми своїми силами провели цю роботу.
Всі люди отримали статуси, так? Вони
Так.
отримали статус цивільного заручника. Виділили по 100 тисяч кожного, хто тут знаходиться. Тобто всі.
During the 27 days of occupation, the Russian caused a lot of damage, destroying numerous houses. Of the 150 damaged and 16 destroyed houses, 56 have been restored. 3 years later, and they're barely a third of the way into repairing what Russia has destroyed. Just talking about his meetings and now meeting with airborne troops, and today he's not in Kyiv, he's not in his office, he's in Sumy and Chernihiv. Here's his speech from on the road today, entering Sumy.
Бажаю здоров'я, дорогі українці, українки. Сьогодні дві наші області – Чернігів, Сумщина, стратегічний напрямок, кордон з Росією. Почав сьогодні день в Ягідному. Днями була річниця звільнення села від окупантів. Важливо, що багато об'єктів в селі відновили, будують нові будинки, працюють над збереженням пам'яті про те, як росіяни утримували все село в підвалі школи. Один з найбільш цинічних і нелюдських злочинів цієї війни. Ніколи це ми не забудемо. І також я був в Чернігові, зустрівся з представниками всіх наших громад області. Багато питань, багато. І особливо у громад, які межують з Росією, фактично постійно знаходяться під обстрілами. Вирішили сьогодні направити додаткові кошти для підтримки всіх таких громад прикордонних на межі з ворогом, а також прифронтових. Наступного тижня урядовці повинні це вирішити. Додаткові кошти, відчутні кошти на кожну таку громаду для найбільш нагальних завдань. Сьогодні ж наша Сумщина – один із напрямків, де багато що вирішується. Я особисто хотів бути тут, особисто хотів подякувати нашим воїнам. ДШВ, 80-та бригада, 82-га, морська піхота, 36-та бригада і всі ті, хто виконує завдання на Курщині, хто захищає нашу державу, хто захищає нашу Сумщину від постійного бажання росіян зайти в Україну з цих напрямків. Я хочу подякувати всім нашим солдатам, всім нашим сержантам, кожному нашому офіцеру, які абсолютно героїчно воюють на цих напрямках. Від серпня минулого року наші підрозділи ведуть бойові дії на території ворога. Це один з найбільших українських результатів за час цієї війни. Абсолютно справедливо перенести війну туди, звідки вона й прийшла. Говорили сьогодні з командирами підрозділів наших на цьому напрямку. Основні потреби, додаткове забезпечення, постачання техніки, дрони, оперативні питання. Працюємо для захисту наших позицій. Знаємо, на що розраховує ворог. В будь-якому випадку захистимо нашу державу, нашу незалежність, наших людей. Я вдячний всім нашим людям, які захищають свій дім, які захищають свої громади, які захищають свою землю, нашу землю. Бути тут, допомагати державі та армії, дбати про людей, які поруч. Це все потрібно, це все допомагає нам зберігати Україну і наближати мир. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. And I'm loving these last two videos because you can hear spring in the background, the birds singing. Yeah, you hear cars passing by in this one. But you see the grass turning green, the leaves starting to come on the trees. Oh, what a time to be in Ukraine. Here, I had an inch of snow yesterday. Give you an idea. So yesterday he was in the Dnipro. Today, let's see if we could find that town that he is speaking of. Let's cheat and go to Google Maps. And oh, where's the name of the town? Because I want to get the spelling right. Okay, let's grab that in Ukrainian. Okay, so different transliteration. So just south of Chernihiv, Yahidny. So this entire town was crammed into the basement of this school. 318 people, approximately, shoved into that little basement we saw on the videos. Give you an idea, that's the town he's talking about. this is the town where the house is that I'm looking at. So fortunately, you hit it right there. And this is the town I'm looking at for my house. That's an hour drive away from Kiev. And this is as close as the Russians got back in 2022. They were on Kiev's doorstep. Of course, Ukraine ended up liberating all this area, pushed Russia back across the border. And last year, oh shoot. Last year pushed them further than the border. A lot of green all throughout this map. Yet everybody says Russia is winning. If Russia was winning, you wouldn't see this green or this green. You wouldn't see the blue here in Nadia from 3rd Assault Brigade retaking the town last week. You wouldn't see all this blue here in Pokrovsk where they're launching 80 assaults yesterday. Yet they're still losing territory. Oh, they might gain, half a field here, but they lose it here. Yeah, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. Nobody really does win in war. But I do hope Ukraine. Yeah. I'll rest when I'm dead. Yeah, how about this one for you, Mitch? Superman wasn't from Krypton, he was from Ukraine, and his balls were made of Ukrainium. Before we go any further, I do want to talk about Cars for Ukraine campaign. I don't know if Chungus has been on to update you guys, but I'm going to pin the message now in chat. And yes, I know I am behind on my horseradish. My stomach is not up for it today. I'll get that tomorrow. Being 5,027 euros, 69 cents. I love it. Total campaign is at 50. Shows you where my brain's at. 58,241. And check on new donors. Michael Shiozaki. I hope I said your name right. Annie Graham. Anonymous. Thank you guys for your donations. Keeping the fundraiser going even when we're not there. I appreciate that very, very much. Yes, I do. It's shut off right now because of the noise it makes. I didn't want to mess up the sound for the stream. Um, I'm not going to go through all 205 posts. It would take forever, and my body's not up for it. Of course, the filibuster and the drones from yesterday, 41 drones were shot down out of 74 launched by Russia. An additional 20 were lost in location. This wasn't yesterday, this was the day before's report. Just going to do a quick scroll through and MiG-29 pilot with a call sign Denfix shoots down 2 Russian Shaheeds at night. Cool little peek at what it looks like in the air at night over Ukraine. A lot of U.S. news. Kharkiv, Zelensky in the Dnipro hospital. Destroying 10 UAVs in Odessa. Of course, the drone drops continue. Zelensky's speech from yesterday. I enjoyed that. Listening to the birds in the background of this was just amazing. A lot of stuff I should read to keep up with events, but I'm at the end. I'm running out of energy already. Yeah, especially with shit like that popping up. Okay, I had to watch that one because of the tours and the books getting blown up. Dropping the hammer. Okay. Sorry, but that one's just too loud to keep going. Iran's bullshit. USA's bullshit. Oh, I'm going to puke again. You know, I think this is why I got sick. I actually watched that whole thing. And I spent the next 4 hours on the toilet. Oh, come on. Where's the drones? Okay, here we are. Last night, Russia launched 39 Shaheeds. 28 were shot down. 7 lost in location. So that is a fairly good result. And I might as well just go to the end, see if anything else interesting has popped up. And if it says USA, that's how USA is spelled in Ukrainian. I'm just gonna skip it. I don't even want to read it. I don't care. My government's so fucked at this point. No, normally when I go through these, I'll sit there and read like each one of these to get a idea of what's being talked about. But this is normally my Ukrainian practice. I tried to read it in Ukrainian, then I'll translate it, read it in English, and then go back and read it in Ukrainian. A wasteland. This is what the occupied resort of Krylivka looks like.
Это лунопарк. Понятно, что он 3 года уже не работает. Не работал, вернее, эти года. Может быть, в этом и будет, кто не знает. Вот
Hey, Nick.
это может вспоминает, как тусили. Да, по вечерам там такие тусовки были. Кто помнит, там заходишь, конечно, музон орет. Куча народу, молодежь. Вот так, аквариум. Что тут еще вот с этой стороны? Колесо обозрения. Вот такие вот дела. Такая вот сегодня Кирилловка.
The enemy carried out a massive airstrike in the area of the responsibility of the Volgograd task group. I know that's gonna have good booms in it. I'm sorry, BB. I can't do it today. Short clip from Third Assault. Okay, I am fading quick here.
Ну що, ми сидимо з Полтавою. Валяється. Оце вчора заліз.
Okay, and at least let me get to the end of this here. Ooh. The heck? Gypsy robbery of the century in Russia. Okay. Okay. Teach them young.
Как додумались они ребенка засунуть,
Он
а?
там застрял как-нибудь или еще что-то.
Вот застрял, вытаскивать его.
Он же мог тоже задохнуться, там нет?
М.
I wish I could say only in Russia, but I've seen that in America as well. Uh, Let me guess. You want to help me make $15 by liking and sharing videos. Deleted account. Yep. Engineers. No video, but them doing demining work. K2. I'll come back to that. Nothing from the 42nd. Everything else can wait. Let's see if Dennis has anything funny. Oh, the wheelchair man. Yeah. Imagine sending someone to the front in a wheelchair that has to crawl away when his wheelchair gets hit. You notice that's a different location. That's a separate wheelchair incident. So it's not like a one-time thing that this guy just happened to find a wheelchair. No, there's multiple cases of Russian soldiers in wheelchairs along the front line. uh, the crutches too. No, I'm starting to like Chat GPT more and more. Yeah, that's what Trump wants to be. I mean, raw earth. That's old. That's old. Uh, 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 yeah, they found the fourth soldier. Well, I have to admit, he has united the world. Unfortunately, it's against America. He does post some weird shit. Nothing stands out to be like really super funny. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Warriors Ukrainian. I'm going to find at least a 2-minute video. Oh well, this is gonna have to work. I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back. Large drone attack in the city of Kharkiv. Damn it, that hurts. Now, how long have we been sitting on this one? Oh man. Oh yeah, did you guys see this shit? At least can that be counted as a suit? Ugh. I was flipping off Krill, not you guys, sorry. Russians are trying to move on Borova. Many Russian soldiers pay to get transferred to Russia for leave or treatment, where the lawlessness is a little more manageable. U.S. senators create a bill to strengthen anti-Russian sanctions. About damn time. Russian bomber crashed in the Irkutsk region of Russia. Burn, baby, burn. The crew ejected, but still one pilot died. It's a hell of an ejection system. I can't zoom fast enough. Or not zoom, scroll. Oh, I don't want to show those. I wonder why Kegseth is not going to be present in Ramstein. Yeah, sending him to Germany is like sending an alcoholic to a brewery. I'm sure that makes sense in somebody's mind. Britain is transferring. So 8 to 10 Westland Puma helicopters. Oh, British helis making it to Ukraine soon. That'll be cool. Another 11 Ukrainian children were returned from temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine and the Russian Federation. A pregnant woman with a small child also returned. Children's age ranged from 2 to 17 years old. While in occupied territories, the families lived under constant pressure from the occupation regime because of their pro-Ukrainian position and were subjected to persecution and intimidation. In true Russian form, Russians blowing up their own dam near Popkovka in Belgorod region.
I like the way you kiss me. I like the way you. I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it this. Not trying to be romantic. I'll hit it from the back just so you don't get attached. I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it this. Not trying to be romantic. I'll hit it from the back just.
Blonde, you need to start recording shit like this so we know what you're talking about really and not what it sounds like you're talking about. But this is supposed to be a video of Russians blowing up a dam. I don't see any water flowing out. You know, there should be a bunch of water flowing down this little ravine. So Russia failing to blow up their own dam. Let's go over to Belgorod area. So it looks like this reservoir, and they were trying to blow up that part of the dam. Or was it this one? Well, let me go back and look at that.
I like the way you kiss me. I like the way you...
Yeah, I believe it's this one. So, like, we're seeing the view.
I like the way you kiss me.
So, seeing the view from, like, right about here. So they're trying to blow this dam to flood out this section of the border. To prevent Ukraine from crossing it. Yeah, eventually that water would flow down into these villages and flood these villages, because you see the drainage come down here. You know, right through this part of town and then down this way. And that's a lot of water that's backed up. That'd be a pretty big flood if they actually succeeded in blowing up that dam. My heart's on fire, Elvira. Go, go, Godzilla. Zilla. Zilla. Yeah, I know the song. Yeah, Russia's messed up. Oh, this is what I wanted to show or look at. That's odd because my phone's saying an error alert just popped on in Kyiv. But now it says there's not one there. Oh, I don't know. Consequences will be terrible for millions around the world. Commenting on Trump's ferrous. Yeah, let's bring in more criminals to the United States. Uh-huh. Yolanda was killed on March 21st. An enemy drone struck the apartment building where she lived with her parents. The girl's mother and father were also killed. Yuliana was 17 years old, was born in Zaporizhia, and a pastry chef by profession at 17 years old. She worked in food delivery. Most recently, she was an operator at Lancelot Restaurant. More smoking incidents in Russia. Shipbuilding plant is on fire in Petrovazovsk, Russia. The fire engulfed a production workshop with an area of 1,500 square meters. 3 people been known to be injured. The plant manufactures dry goods cargo ships. River and sea vessels. New production line was recently launched there. Ships of the Ukrainian Navy are the first since the start of the full-scale invasion to receive an interoperability assessment according to NATO standards. Mine countermeasure ships Cherkasky and Chernihiv were the first since the beginning of the full-scale aggression of the Russian Federation to complete NATO Level 1 assessment, which confirms interoperability with NATO procedures and standards. Fundraisers. Flying Skull soldiers destroy a tank and an infantry fighting vehicle and a car. They also hit another Russian tank, motorcycle, and another car.
Let's go be having the smoke. Ripping that 7, that gun in my coat. Carry that 9mm, you never gon' hang for the rope, but I'm never gon' step on the coast. trenches in battle, you ghost. I see a drone, don't make them scatter. I'm dropping a nade and I gon' make them choke. Misery lost all my hope on the right to the coast. And they tried to the mouth of the castle. I took with the armies I slow. I'm with the sirens and cloaks and the demons and boats. Battle my demons and trenches and slopes with the glint on my scopes. And the
How is
ordinance
that?
from the heavens of hosts.
Oh,
I got a shorty, she good for me. Chain on her armor, I'm fucked up, I'm hitting this shit up. She getting away from me, breaking it off. She on my girl for me, licking her love. Go hold it down for me, call me a god, and she grabbing her rope and she grabbing me. Please don't be having the smoke, ripping that 7, that gun in my coat. Carry that 9mm, you never gon' hang for the rope, but I'm never gon' slip on the coat. Don't be having the smoke, ripping that 7, that gun in my coat. Carry that 9mm, you never gon' hang for the rope, but I'm never gon' slip on the coat.
that was an interesting song. Last Monday, an ordinary day in Sumi turned into a nightmare. Valeria was watching cartoons. Emick was resting at home because he was sick, and Kira, 15, was walking home from school during a break when the Russian strike took place. Valeria was blown off the couch. Emick and his mother were knocked down, and Kira was frozen with shock. I was trying to save my candy, was the first thing little Valeria said after the explosion. Neighbors helped Valeria and her grandfather down from the 4th floor. Emick and his mother Yulia were brought into hospital. Kira rushed home to save her cat. Valeria and Emick spent several days in the hospital. Their apartments are destroyed, and Kira's school was damaged. 23 children were injured in the Russian missile attack on Sumy. This is the terrible reality of war for Ukrainian children. See the Cheeto dust on Putin's hands? That's why Donald's hair is orange. Near Andivka. Russia loses 12 armored vehicles. Well, there's one Russian assault group that won't be doing another assault. Russian airports were shut down. No, is it 23:43 or 23:43, just before midnight Moscow time? Motor from Kharkiv tonight. 2 people are believed to be dead in Kharkiv as a result of the strike. 3 more people, including a child, are believed to be under the rubble. Search and rescue is ongoing. Oh, look, Putler has a conveyor belt.
Пока еще с вами мы живы, и правда за нами. Там сверху на нас кто-то смотрит родными глазами. Они улыбались, как дети, и в небо шагали. Встанем и ближе к ним станем. Встанем.
Бажаю здоров'я, дорогі українці.
Zelensky's speech was next. Dnipro region under large attack. The new flagship of the Russian Navy is reportedly being built in Crimea, which is larger than the Moskva. The first sea trials of the ship have been postponed until 2027. The Russian economy faces significant challenges due to currency manipulation and diminishing income. While the ruble appears strong, its valuation is artificial, contributing to rising costs, inflation, and yeah, you get the idea. Come back to that. President of Poland. Russia has shown in an unambiguous way that, unfortunately, this evil is still there. There's Russian imperialism. I always emphasize this. It does not matter whether it's Tsarist, whether it's Soviet, Stalinist, Brezhnevinist, or last of all, Putinist imperialism. It's always the same imperialism that wants to enslave other nations, take their lands, take their national resources, and wants to exploit them. This is what is happening today in Ukraine, where they do not hesitate to kill, to murder civilians, to demolish cities. This is precisely Russian imperialism. I have no doubt that the world and wise people in America clearly see this. Yeah, the unwise people don't. Speaking of certain clown. So this is going to be the last video tonight. Azov Brigade working in Toretsk, repelling an intense assault by Russian biker gangs. Yeah, Golby, I'm not going to be able to make it much longer. There, this will get me through this video. how nice, delivering themselves to the graveyard. That's very thoughtful of the Russians.
Друже, вилетіла фіпівішка, 30 секунд і летим на беху.
I was about to ask what you wanted to fuck up here, BB. I'm like, huh? No, I might have to go get the rights for the Mama Said Knock You Out. Me. If I let my knee sit in one place too long, the kneecap locks up and it hurts to move it. So I'm trying to keep moving it, and I'm not doing a good enough job. Thank you, Asoff, for that update. I'm going to just skip and go through the rest of this at a later time. I would love to call it a day, but just one last plug for the Easter Pisanki Cars for Ukraine fundraiser. We are at 5,027 euros. I will do the spoonful of horseradish. Yeah, I'm doing good here. Oh, God. Tomorrow, You know, it's a great way to support Ukraine, especially with the Cars for Ukraine model. They buy the trucks, drive them into Ukraine, and these trucks are worked on in Lviv. So you not only help get the soldiers the trucks they need, but you give Ukrainians jobs. Thus helping the economy grow. You know, those jobs pay taxes on their income. They pay taxes with the food, the medicine, the clothing, and the utility bills they pay. So it all goes and helps the economy, helps the taxes raised to the government, helps the government out, as well as the army. It all is just a commutative cycle. So please, if you can and are able to, send a donation to Cars for Ukraine. Help out not only the Seraphim group here, but keep a guy employed fixing vehicles, another guy that welds armor on them, the paint guy. That, you know, so many people go into getting these trucks to the front. You know, supporting a workforce in Ukraine as well as the soldiers. That's the best I can say right now. I'm so if nothing else, you get to see a wildly delirious man say your name on live chat. Link is in the description below as well as pinned to the top of chat. I think I've made it as far as I'm going to make it. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for smashing the like button. But more so, thank you for supporting Ukraine. I will see you tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody. And of course, stay safe. Good night, everybody.